we're back for episode number 11, number one, and this is the Biltwell 100 episode, where we went and raced in the desert, and we did all kinds of stuff. So we went with POS Moto, our friends out of Phoenix, and I raced under number 76, but my number's 421, but we raced under number 76 because that's how Biltwell does it, because they have all their stuff dialed in. And we all had these matching jerseys, and it was a ton of fun in the desert. We're going to tell you all about it, but let's get this thing rolling here. So where were we? We just told you, we were at the Biltwell 100. We were racing Husqvarnas in the desert. Last year we all went to the El Diablo Run together, me, DJ, and the whole crew. And then this year there's no EDR because EDR is every 2 years. And then this is the off year. So we were like, what are we going to do? Let's do something stupid. And they're like, we'll buy a vintage Husqvarna, build it, get it all together. I did. I found one for cheap. I rebuilt the whole thing. And then I drove it from Connecticut to California, and then we raced it. And it's a kind of a piece of junk bike. It somehow made it. It was exhausting. It beat the crap out of me. And I was not at all ready for a desert race because we don't do stuff like that. We don't even dirt bike. But we said, hell, what the hell? We'll just give it a shot. So how about we just go live? We'll just go live on scene, and we'll show you some video from my helmet cam that I had on top of my head.
Alright, so we got the fine Coleman CT200. We're gonna wait till the race starts. When they say go, unbox it, put it together. Hopefully I make the lap.
Oh my god, you got the oil and the gas and everything.
I got oil, gas, a couple wrenches.
Did you memorize all the instructions?
I did. I watched that video about 100 times. So.
Hell yeah,
all up
dude.
here in the old think tank.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. This is gonna be insane. If my bike doesn't blow up, that'll be a win. If I actually finish it, that'll be a win.
Finish the lap.
So we're gonna try some commentary for this one. So let's talk about the Biltwell 100. First, we got our 1980 Husqvarna. We're gonna get this thing fired up. It's gonna take a couple of kicks, but she'll get there. And then I was racing in the vintage class. So vintage, dual shock, something. Say goodbye to DJ. Give our boy a little hug there. Pull up to the starting line where they pull the rubber band. Start it out. They pulled it super fast, and I stalled the bike out immediately, you know, as it goes. Get it fired up, start taking off, and then the race is starting here. This was my first ever dirt race, so I had no idea what to expect at all doing this. We raced around the pit area a little bit the day before, so that was like my first experience ever running and riding in dirt. And as you can see already, the video sped up a lot, because we're so terribly slow. It helps it track a little bit better there. But the Biltwell 100, so it was a real lot of dirt, a real lot of sand. We're gonna see right now, we're just rolling through the straights to kind of get out in the middle of nowhere here. And just kind of getting used to what's going on, what the terrain's like, and you know, just kind of taking it as it comes. Really cool little train background shot right there. The race was held about 15 miles south of Ridgecrest, California. Not very far away at all from civilization, which was nice, but it was definitely desolate. There was a slight warning of sheep in the area. I guess there's a sheep farm around here somewhere, so we had to be mindful of that, and then the sheepdogs that go with it. Right here you can see a little bit of a transition change. It's a little bit looser sand, and then we start really kind of getting into the whoop section. It's hard to tell from the video. The camera was on top of my helmet, and I'm not a very short guy, and it makes it look not nearly as brutal as it was actually, but it was pretty brutal for somebody who's never ridden out in the desert like me. I had quite a hard time with it. I was pretty exhausted. When I started feeling pretty fatigued, I looked up and I was at mile marker 5 of 75, so we had a long way to go. But it was a blast. I really enjoyed it, and watching this video again and talking about it makes me really want to get back out there and do it like right now. Here's a hooligan rider I was riding right behind here. He was with the Scum crew. We got to talk to him before the race, which was really cool. And he said that he's never ridden a Sportster off-road ever, so this was like his first race doing it. And I was like, man, that's crazy. You're really getting out there and going for it. We're getting passed right here by what I believe are other, some of the Triumph Desert guys. Here the video slowed down. This is the rock section of the track. It's kind of really hard to tell, but all of these rocks on the ground right here are softball size and up. And it was a pretty big downward slope here, so you really had to kind of get on the brakes, and just everybody started taking it real easy because it could get sketchy real quick. Passing some of the adventure class. They had pretty much a class for everything except quads. So anything with 2 wheels. A lot of hooligan race bikes. Here's where it kind of opens up into a straight. Fun fact, one time I completely, oh, there's Drake. Look at Drake over there, off to the right. One time I blew straight by that left-hand turn there. As you can see, this is where it really starts getting sandy. So all of this really loose, dry sand, when the modern bikes pass you, they pass you going about twice your speed, and you just get hammered with rocks and dirt. It's pretty, it was pretty wild, like just like that guy's ripping past, and you get lit up pretty good as soon as they passed you. And it's fun. There's a lot of terrain changes, as you can see. You're going up mountains, you're going down mountains. When you go over crests like that, you get to really like open up and see all the mountains in the area, and it was quite a beautiful place. Here we go right here. We took a little bit of a digger. Wasn't expecting that one. Those rocks on the ground got me. I seen the person in front of me fell, so I immediately got on the brakes. And one thing you learn real fast is that's what I say, you're not supposed to hit brakes on the sand.
You have any zip ties?
Yeah.
Can I borrow? Can I get some? My fuel line keeps busting off.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem, man. I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah?
We didn't even start. You need anything else?
No, I'm good, brother. Thank you
Cool,
so much.
no problem. Get fired up and we're right back to it. And as you can see here, there's a pretty sizable hill, and you really start running into bikes that are either knocked out of the race or down for the count as you're going through, especially in the later laps. The 2 guys in front of me right now, they were on pit bikes and they were hammering. I have no idea how they were going so fast on those little tiny pit bikes, but they were jamming. It was pretty out of control. At one point, I'd pass them in the straights, but whenever it got a little bit technical, they just go blowing right by. And as you can see, probably one of the first place guys is on his 2nd lap right now, just went blowing by me. It's a really cool atmosphere. The whole Biltwell motto for it was good times, not lap times, and that was really shown. There was plenty of people that were asking for help. There was plenty of people stopping for help. I stopped, some girl needed her bike kick-started. I just missed a corner and then ended up stopping with a group of people. And she's like, can you kickstart my bike? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I was dead to the world tired. But I jumped over this thing and I just started kicking away, and we were all surprised when it fired up. It was a really cool race, and as you can see right there, there are tracks. There is a main track, but you know, however you figure out a way to get there is there's no wrong, well, there is very wrong directions, but you know, whatever, by any means necessary, you just got to keep going straight. And sometimes you're on track, sometimes you're off track, and you just got to figure it out. But I was super happy to run the race with POS Moto. Those guys were great. They helped me out huge. Our pit crew was awesome. All the girls took care of us. And I really hope to get back here and do it again. And I really encourage anybody to go out there and give it a shot, because it was hard, but it wasn't crazy hard. And you should really get out there and do it. It's totally worth it. And we would love to get back out there and do it again. So what about this week's Babe Bike of the Week? Babe Bike of the Week. Well, it has to be a race bike, right? And who else would we pick better than Tyler Valentik from Pennsylvania? He won this year's Biltwell 100 on his Harley-Davidson Sportster. He got first place because the dude is an animal. And after doing the race on the Husqvarna and being dead to the world after 3 laps, we have no idea how he did it on an even heavier, crazier bike that's not even built for any kind of racing. So Tyler's an animal. He has a really cool Sportster. He's sponsored by Steel City Harley-Davidson, I believe. Hey, we got pictures of it. We seen him out there. We seen him doing his thing, and he's a killer. He also raced it at the Mint 400 and won that. He won the Biltwell 100 last year. The dude's a champ. You got to keep your eye on him, and he was a very nice guy when we got to meet him this year at the race, and we appreciate you.
You've got mail.
Oh, we have an email from Mikey Revolt. He asks us, when are we gonna start getting back to chopper stuff? Well, Mikey, we got a lot of stuff going on. We have all kinds of irons and all kinds of fires. And the next thing that we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be riding our Sportster on the MABDR. But we'll get to that. And then after that is chopper stuff. I have my shovel head. I'm trying to finish it. I would love to be working on it right now, but you know how the way it goes. But we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, so stay tuned. We'll get back to chopper stuff eventually, we promise. Speaking of chopper stuff, where do you want to be this summer? Like I was saying, we know where all the parties are at. You want to go to the Eazy Time show. That's going to be in Worcester, Massachusetts at Ralph's Rock and Roll Diner. They're going to have all the things. It's a dirt parking lot. There's nothing there but to party. And then Ralph's Rock and Roll Diner is a hell of a place in itself. It's a great time. We went to the last couple of shows there that are no longer the same shows, but it's the Eazy Times, and we're going to have an easy time. So that is going to be on July 9th. Mark your calendars. Put it on your phone. Tell your wife now, and we'll see you there. What do we have in the bucket? We have some goodies from Hawthorne Cycle Co. He's the master of the 3D printer guy who makes all the really cool 3D printed parts. And what are these little guys? These are oil line separators. And you take these and you put your oil lines in them. And then that way they're not touching each other or rubbing on stuff and wearing on stuff. You put them in these things. They're really cool. It's a really neat and easy solution. I think they're like $10, but you can get them at chopshit.com. He comes out with new stuff constantly. I know he's making a really cool 3D printed battery box that has his fuse integrated holder on the top, and it also has a fuse block that's very cool. So check them out. So like we were saying, the Biltwell 100, Biltwell's on top of it. They gave us all kinds of cool stuff. First of all, right when you walk in, they give you a beer from Iron Fire Brewing. They get you set up. They get you cooking. The next thing you know, they got us going with some Heatwave visual glasses. We got these cool Biltwell 100 special edition freaking cool guy brother glasses. And then they also gave us these really cool koozies too from S&M Bikes. What's the significance of S&M Bikes? Well, the Mad Dog. He races vintage Husqvarnas too. He spanked all of us, even though he's probably twice our age, but the dude is an animal. And we grew up riding BMX, and we were so stoked to be able to meet the Mad Dog in person and to get whomped by him out in the desert on his favorite motorcycles. And then he had us take this picture of all the vintage Husqvarnas together because that's how much he cares about them. So we appreciate Biltwell for putting on such a fun time and giving us all these extras and goodies and making sure that we had all the accommodations when we went all the way out to California. So thank you. And if you're interested, it's Biltwell's whole thing is good times, not lap times. We are definitely not racers. So if you just want to go and have some fun and give it a shot out in the desert, you could run a mini bike, you could run a big bike, you could do whatever you want. So we very much encourage you to do it again next year when they do it because it's really cool and a lot of fun. And you should do it. All right, so that's it. You know, I don't know if we're doing any more racing this year. You know, that was pretty hard on the old body. We got a couple slams. We did a really nice slam at about 50 miles an hour right into the ground, which really hurt, and I still have a hard time bending down. But that doesn't matter because we're back, and we're gonna be back for episode 12, and we're in good health and wellness, and we're gonna see you there. And make sure you tell your friends and your uncles and your co-workers and your neighbor and your telemarketer that always calls your house about and bothers you. Tell them to check out Winging It with Chicken Rick. We appreciate it. Check out chopshit.com. We have the parts. We have the goodies. We have the shirts. We have whatever you need. And we will catch you on next week's episode. And thank you for watching, and we'll catch you later.